First aid was immediately provided. However, unfortunately, the male was pronounced deceased at the scene. Police have now stood up a critical incident investigation into the events that unfolded this afternoon. Our investigation is still at the very early stages of piecing together the events of this afternoon. A cordon has been set up in the area, and police ask that members of the public try and keep away from the area. These events have unfolded very quickly in a busy area where people shopping at the mall and the afternoon rush hour were getting underway. I can reassure the public that there is no ongoing risk. I can take questions.
Was the air rifle loaded?
That will form part of our investigation, and we'll have more details once our investigation into
Did he steal ammunition from Gun City or just the air rifle?
Again, that will form part of our investigation. At the moment, all I'm aware of is an air rifle was stolen.
Just with at Gun City, I just want to know the nature of the break-in. Was it a forced entry into Gun City?
It was a shoplifting incident where he has walked in through the front door.
And were any of the staff members threatened in that when he walked in?
Again, that is part of our ongoing investigation once we speak to the witnesses in more detail at Gun City.
Have you identified the victim?
Sorry, the victim?
Like, do you know who he is? Or who
The
they are?
The deceased.
Yeah.
We do know who the deceased is.
And were they someone who was known to police?
The deceased was known to police.
Can you give us any details about age? Are they from Auckland?
As you will appreciate, the next of kin have not been advised yet, and so just in terms of respect to the family, those details will not be provided at this moment.
As he entered the mall, what was the concern from police on the ground at that point in time?
The deceased has run towards the mall with a weapon, an air rifle. We don't know what his intent would have been once inside the mall.
And is that the reasoning behind the shot being fired?
Again, we have not spoken to the officers, so we don't actually know in terms of the decision making of the officers.
You said it was busy at the time. Obviously it's the afternoon, lots of people shopping. Were there people in the vicinity of the deceased man when the shot was fired?
Again, that's information that I don't have at hand.
Was the vehicle stolen?
The vehicle has not been reported stolen. Again, that will form part of our inquiries to see if it has been reported as stolen, but at the moment it was not reported stolen.
Just when they were confronted in the underpass, as we understand, or the overpass, did he point the gun at the police? I'm just trying to understand the decision to shoot him.
Again, that's something that will need to be uncovered when we carry out the full investigation, when we've actually spoken to the police officers involved.
Was he alone or was he with others?
He was alone.
Was he known to police prior?
Yes, he was.
How was
what
he known?
capacity? Yeah. Sorry, in what capacity was he known? Were police actively looking for him before?
No, he was not a wanted person.
So why was he on your radar previously?
Again, I will not go into those details at this stage.
Was it because of previous firearm-related offences?
Again, I will not carry out the...
Did staff at Gun City try and stop the offender from taking the gun?
I don't have that information at hand.
Why do police think he headed towards Sylvia Park?
Again, we have not formed his actual intent of heading towards Sylvia Park.
And then for officers at Sylvia Park, did they at that time know that it was an air rifle and not another kind of firearm?
Officers knew it was a firearm. The type of firearm that he was in possession of, we don't know. What the officers knew, we don't know.
What happens from here? What will you be looking at as part of your investigation?
So there's a critical incident investigation that has commenced within police. The Independent Police Conduct Authority have been notified, and they will be carrying out their own investigation. And so that's formed part of the ongoing investigations.
So just to clarify, the deceased man never fired a shot?
Again, we don't know that information at this hand until we have spoken to the officers concerned.
And how many shots were fired by police?
Again, that's something that we'll have to speak to our officers about.
Where was he shot on his body?
Again, we do not know that information.
Is there anything you're asking for from the public, like CCTV, dashcam footage, that sort of thing?
Yeah, absolutely. So anything in terms of witnesses, any mobile phone footage that members of the public may have, please, I encourage you to send that through to the police.
Are you looking for anyone else?
Not at this moment in time, we're not, no.
Was the car a hire car? Do you know?
No, sorry, I don't have that information either.
That's right. Do you know if he was legally permitted to possess a firearm?
Again, I don't have that information with me.
Was he a teenager?
I'm not going to go into details about the deceased.
Do you know if there were if he was subject to any bail conditions or anything of that nature?
The male was under bail conditions.
And did he have electronic monitoring?
No.
What was the nature of his charges? Like, why was he on bail?
Again, I will not go into those details.
How concerning is it for police that someone was able to steal a firearm?
It's until we've actually figured out the nature of the actual theft and how it occurred. It is of concern. However, we just don't know the circumstances of how he became in possession of that firearm from how it was stolen.
Yeah, how concerning is it for police that we've had two very violent daytime incidents in Auckland in the last 2 weeks? I'm thinking about Epsom and today. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, two different types of events that have taken place. I acknowledge the events of Epsom from last week. They're totally different types of events, like I mentioned. This was a fast-moving event that took place, and they're totally two separate incidents.
Are you happy with the response times of your staff?
Yes, I am.
Was part of his bail conditions that he had to stay in a certain area? Did he breach bail conditions, apart from the obvious stealing the gun and doing this, but was he on your radar before he stole the gun because he had breached some other condition?
Bail conditions were not breached.
And how was the officer doing who fired the shot?
We've put support in place for the officer concerned, and that support will be ongoing. No one comes to work and expects this kind of result. Our staff work very, very hard on a daily basis to make sure the community is safe, and this is the last thing that they want to experience.
Did you try and detain him before firing a shot?
Again, I'm not aware of any of that information.
What communication has there been with the mall management, and is there any support being put in place for people who may have seen it, store workers, mall staff?
Yeah, so police have been in contact with the management of the store, as well as Ngāti Pawa, who's the iwi for the area.
As part of the police comms, was the officer given clearance to shoot? Was there a need to get clearance before they shot it, or was that a decision the police officer is allowed to make on their own?
Yeah, so that's the decision for the officer at the time. Permission doesn't have to be given by authority.
Have you been able to confirm any of his prior movements before the report of the air rifle being stolen?
Again, that's something that we'll piece together as the investigation commences and takes place.
Last question, guys.
Are you getting in touch with the next of kin tonight? Is that just an ongoing process, is it?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get in contact with the next of kin as soon as we can.
Was he previously considered to be high risk?
In what terms?
A high risk of reoffending whilst on bail or anything like that?
Yeah, that's information I don't have in terms of any bail breaches, etc., that he's had in the past.
Can you just outline your the police's biggest fears of the gunman going into the centre with the gun?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
So what were the biggest fears, I guess, for public safety or for a gunman to enter a mall with a gun?
Yeah, I think someone entering a public place with a firearm is of concern to anyone, not just the police, as you can probably imagine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.